The Sierra Nevada, one of the most majestic mountain ranges in California, where nature reveals its raw power. Stretching for hundreds of kilometers, it forms a boundary between dry valleys and lush alpine forests. From Yosemite National Park to snow-covered peaks, the landscape shifts dramatically with elevation. Yet despite its breathtaking beauty, the region faces wildfires, drought, and increasingly visible climate change. What makes the Sierra Nevada both powerful and fragile? Stay with us, because there's more here than meets the eye. Mammoth Lakes, located in the Sierra Nevada, California, is a famous resort area with breathtaking natural scenery. This area stands out with its clear water lakes surrounded by towering mountains. It is an ideal destination for those who enjoy outdoor activities, especially skiing in the winter and hiking and walking trails in the summer. Lakes such as Lake Mary and Lake George, with their clear waters and wonderful scenery, are perfect spots for camping, fishing, and relaxation. The history of Mammoth Lakes is closely tied to the first people who settled in this area, including indigenous tribes like the Paiute and Shoshone. These natives lived here for thousands of years, using the natural resources from the mountains and lakes to survive. In the late 19th century, the area began to attract European settlers, mainly due to mining and the discovery of mineral deposits. By the 1940s, tourism began to develop rapidly, with resorts and ski areas being established, attracting visitors from all over. The development of the resort area in the mid-20th century led to controversies over land use, particularly regarding the preservation of the natural environment. Issues like soil erosion, water pollution, and climate change started to arise, prompting environmental organizations to call for a balance between development and conservation. With its rich ecosystem, Mammoth Lakes not only attracts winter sports enthusiasts, but is also a perfect place for those who seek tranquility and natural beauty. Visitors can enjoy activities like bathing in natural hot springs, watching sunsets from mountain peaks, or simply relaxing by the crystal-clear lakes. Mammoth Lakes truly is a place worth exploring and enjoying. Sequoia National Park, located deep in the Sierra Nevada range of California, USA, was established in 1890 as a natural preserve. It is renowned for its giant sequoia trees, including General Sherman, recognized as the largest living tree in the world by volume. Many trees exceed 295 feet in height, with diameters up to 26 feet and lifespans of thousands of years. The park serves not only as a prominent tourist destination, but also as a crucial link in the Sierra Nevada ecosystem. This forested region was once inhabited by indigenous tribes, where they hunted and gathered food for thousands of years before European arrival. In the 19th century, an explorer first documented the existence of these massive trees, bringing global awareness to the unique natural value of the area. Conservation efforts were promoted to prevent logging and preserve the original landscape. Throughout history, the forest faced significant challenges, from extensive logging to summer wildfires caused by heat and accumulated dry branches. After protection measures were implemented, the ecosystem recovered, becoming a model for natural preservation. The diverse habitat now supports hundreds of endemic plant and animal species. The area is also a center for outdoor activities, including mountain climbing, camping, hiking, and cave exploration. Visitors can admire the giant trees and the majestic mountainous landscape. Indigenous ceremonies honor the strength and longevity of these ancient trees, while educational programs on nature conservation are regularly conducted to raise community awareness. Tioga Pass opens at an elevation of about 9,944 feet, one of the highest mountain passes crossing the Sierra Nevada range. The road stretches nearly 46.6 miles, winding through granite formations created over 100 million years ago during the Cretaceous period. Glacial traces from more than 2 million years ago formed U-shaped valleys, glacial lakes, and sharply eroded cliffs, creating an ancient and harsh landscape. In the late 19th century, the area experienced a silver mining boom, with the town of Tioga established in 1881, attracting hundreds of miners. However, within less than 20 years, resources were depleted, leaving the settlement abandoned at over 9,800 feet. By 1915, the pass road was rebuilt, marking a shift toward transportation use. During the 20th century, Tioga Pass was frequently disrupted by rockslides and heavy snow, forcing the road to close for an average of 6 to 7 months each year. In 1997, a major avalanche destroyed multiple sections of the road, requiring millions of dollars for restoration. The area also served as a travel route for indigenous communities more than 10,000 years ago. At elevations above 9,186 feet, glacial lakes are scattered among towering granite formations, reflecting light from changing angles. Wildlife adapted to harsh conditions moves according to seasonal cycles, while the rock continues to erode by millimeters each year. Wind and ice constantly reshape the terrain. Eagle Lake is located at an elevation of about 7,054 feet in California, a freshwater lake surrounded by granite slopes and scattered pine forests. The lake covers about 4.63 square miles, with small bays and rocky shores, creating diverse scenery. Sediment layers beneath the lake record erosion and material accumulation over thousands of years. This area holds significant value for geological and environmental research. The sloped terrain and surrounding valleys not only create challenges, but also shape a distinctive landscape. Rocky surfaces and cliffs reflect light, creating strong contrasts with the water surface. Variations in terrain form multiple small ecosystems across the area. This enhances biodiversity and scientific research value. Water from streams and melting snow sustains a stable ecosystem throughout seasonal cycles. The lake plays an important role in regulating the environment and supplying water to nearby regions. Natural changes in water and sediment enrich the ecological structure. These factors contribute to long-term sustainability. Eagle Lake holds significant value for human life and activities. It supports boating, fishing, and field research activities. The natural environment provides opportunities for environmental education and ecotourism. This area represents a balance between conservation and responsible use. Bristlecone Pine Forest is located on the eastern slopes of the Sierra Nevada in California at elevations from about 9,186 to over 11,155 feet. The forest is famous for bristlecone pines, more than 4,800 years old, considered among the oldest living organisms on Earth. The area belongs to the White Mountains and lies near Owens Valley. Since the early 20th century, scientists have surveyed the region to study ancient climate changes through tree ring growth. In the 19th century, the region was near silver and gold mining routes of eastern California. Mining groups built transport roads across dry limestone slopes. Some small settler communities formed, and were quickly abandoned when mineral deposits declined. The federal government later protected the area to limit logging and mineral extraction. The forest experienced several wildfires during the 20th century, particularly fires in the 1950s and 2000 that damaged ancient tree stands. Dry limestone terrain and strong winds allowed fires to spread quickly along slopes. Occasional snowmelt floods also eroded trails and damaged small research stations. These factors led to stricter monitoring of the region. Today, the forest contains trail networks extending more than 9.9 miles, leading to notable ancient trees. Research centers store tree ring data used for thousands of years of climate history. Visitors primarily explore biological and geological research sites. Nearby small towns developed tourism and scientific support services. Inyo National Forest is located in eastern California with an area of about 3,012 square miles, extending across high mountains and wide valleys. Elevation ranges from about 3,937 feet to more than 14,108 feet, creating clear differences in temperature and precipitation. High-elevation pine forests alternate with Alpine Meadows and ancient granite slopes. These terrain variations form multiple ecological environments. The forest was established in 1907 to protect water sources and mountain forest resources in eastern California. Small ranger stations were built in high valleys and near water sources. Several dirt roads extending dozens of miles were opened for forest management. Old wooden cabins from the early period remain in remote areas. The terrain includes many glacial lakes located above 9,843 feet above sea level. These small lakes form from snowmelt and groundwater flowing through granite rock. Some mountain slopes contain large granite cliffs rising hundreds of feet. Narrow valleys create strong wind corridors during colder seasons. Numerous trails extend more than 62 miles through pine forests and rocky mountain terrain. Some areas contain ancient pine trees, thousands of years old. Small streams flow across Alpine Meadows during seasonal snowmelt. Elevation differences create multiple climate zones across the forest. Lake Tahoe is a large freshwater lake on the California-Nevada border 35 miles long, 12 miles wide, with a surface area of 191 square miles and a maximum depth of 1,645 feet. The lake formed 2 to 3 million years ago through tectonic and glacial processes with surrounding ancient granite deposits. The Washoe people have lived here for thousands of years, considering the lake a sacred place for rituals. In the 19th century, the lake attracted miners and explorers following the California Gold Rush. The Lake Tahoe area experienced energy and electricity industry development. Oil pipelines and small oil refineries proposed in the 1960s to 1970s caused political disputes between the state and local authorities. Electricity and hydroelectric systems altered land planning, conflicting with conservation groups. These disputes encouraged the establishment of sustainable management organizations and industrial oversight. Culture and social life reflected political and economic changes. Famines, hardships of logging and gold mining communities, and industrial conflicts left historical marks. Winter and summer tourism grew with festivals and skiing, putting pressure on managing electricity, transportation, and public services. Authorities collaborated with the community to balance development and conservation. Geological and ecological studies observed changes in lake sediments and aquatic life distribution. Lake Tahoe is crucial in the Truckee River Basin and Sierra Nevada hydrology. The lake is a destination for tourism, kayaking, hiking, and wildlife observation, while environmental protection regulations remain strictly enforced. Crystal Cave opens within a marble rock formation at an elevation of about 4,921 feet, where hollow chambers were formed through the dissolution of rock over more than 1 million years. Underground water seeped through the stone, carrying minerals and gradually creating stalactites and stalagmites. The interior space did not form at once, but developed layer by layer at an almost imperceptible rate. Rather than being discovered early, this cave was only known to humans in 1918, when explorers reached the area and documented the complex underground system. Narrow passages and low ceilings made early exploration difficult. Deeper access became possible only after controlled expansion of pathways. Natural factors inside the cave continue to drive slow but constant change. Dripping water carrying calcium carbonate keeps forming new structures, while older ones may erode or break. These processes occur over long cycles, depending on water flow and mineral composition. Stalactites hang from the ceiling in irregular forms, while stalagmites grow upward from the floor. Light reveals crystalline surfaces, producing complex reflective effects. The space exists as a system that continues to develop, though changes are not immediately visible. Alpine Meadows lies at an elevation of about 6,562 feet, formed on terrain shaped by ancient glacial erosion tens of thousands of years ago. Broad valleys and slopes covered with granite, over 100 million years old, create a distinctive geological structure. Layers of sediment and eroded rock gradually reveal a long process of transformation across many eras. This area recorded a major avalanche disaster in 1982, when a massive snowmass over 0.6 miles long swept through inhabited zones. The event killed 7 people and destroyed multiple structures, becoming one of the most severe snow-related accidents in the region. It significantly changed safety management and control practices. Before that, the area had been used by indigenous communities for thousands of years as a seasonal route across high mountainous terrain. When resource extraction and settlement expanded in the 19th century, the natural environment began to be heavily impacted. These changes reduced resources and altered the ecological structure that had remained stable before. Steep slopes alternate with wide depressions, forming a complex terrain where snow accumulates in thick layers over multiple seasons. Trails cut across the landscape, weaving through forest and rock, creating multiple access routes. The interaction between steep terrain and surface layers keeps the area in a constant state of instability. Emerald Bay State Park is located on the west shore of Lake Tahoe, California, stretching 1.2 miles along the shore and 0.5 miles wide, covering 2.34 square miles. The bay was formed by glaciers during the late Pleistocene, surrounded by granite cliffs and old-growth pine forests. The Washoe people inhabited this area, considering the bay sacred and an important resource. In the 19th to 20th centuries, the bay attracted miners and explorers after the California Gold Rush. In the 20th century, Emerald Bay implemented hydroelectric projects and oil pipelines, serving local communities and logging around Lake Tahoe. These projects caused political disputes between state, federal authorities, and conservation organizations, leading to protests and lawsuits to protect the scenery and water quality. Some power facilities had to adjust output to reduce environmental impact. The culture and society around Emerald Bay reflect a history of conflict and resource exploitation. Logging and gold mining communities faced hardships in the 1940s to 1960s, accompanied by local unrest and land disputes. Tourism expanded with outdoor activities, creating pressure on infrastructure management and public services. Environmental conservation programs were coordinated to maintain the landscape. The Bay Area remains an important site for ecological and geological research, monitoring wildlife distribution and lake sediment. Outdoor activities, energy management, and conservation work together to balance resource use and the natural environment. Academic studies and tourism experiences operate simultaneously. Carson Pass, at approximately 8,573 feet in the Sierra Nevada, is a key summit dividing the East Fork Carson River and Carson River watersheds. Granite cliffs rise above old-growth pine and Alpine Meadows, creating layered and dramatic scenery. The Washoe historically traveled through this pass for hunting, gathering, and seasonal rituals. The name Carson Pass reflects its historical significance on the California Trail. Steep slopes and rocky ridges shape the exploration experience. Some smooth or vertical rock faces require specialized climbing skills and safety gear. Sunlight shifts along cracks and striations, producing changing colors throughout the day. The terrain continually evolves through rock slides, erosion, and seasonal winds. Natural processes create a dynamic mountain environment. Snowmelt and heavy rainfall carve gullies and form alluvial deposits, while wildfire exposes granite surfaces. These processes maintain microhabitats for raptors and small wildlife, directly affecting vegetation and slope structure. Viewing points along ridges and small plateaus provide panoramas of surrounding mountains and forests. Streams and minor upland areas allow close observation of alpine ecosystems. Vegetation changes with elevation, from mature forests to alpine species on rock crevices. Carson Pass exemplifies the integration of granite terrain, human history, and ecological research and recreational value. Lake Sabrina lies at an elevation of about 9,055 feet in the Sierra Nevada range, formed as a man-made reservoir in the early 20th century. The lake stretches about 0.93 miles, situated between granite mountain slopes that date back tens of millions of years. The surrounding rock layers show clear traces of erosion and fracturing caused by long-term tectonic pressure. In 1907, a dam was constructed to support a hydroelectric system, completely altering the natural water flow in the area. Before that, the region was a valley where glacial meltwater streams flowed across rocky terrain. The reservoir flooded former landforms, creating the present structure of the lake. In the following decades, the area around the lake was affected by small rock slides and geological shifts. Unstable cliff faces continued to collapse in sections, depositing material along the shoreline. These changes occurred slowly but continuously over time. The lake's surface rests between steep mountain slopes, where light reflections create constantly shifting patterns across the water. Sediment layers at the bottom preserve traces of changes over multiple periods. The surrounding space reflects an overlap between natural processes and human influence. Shaver Lake lies at an elevation of about 5,512 feet in the Sierra Nevada range, formed as a man-made reservoir with an area of about 1.37 square miles. This body of water was created in the early 20th century when dams blocked natural flow, flooding ancient granite valleys. The surrounding rock layers bear tectonic traces spanning tens of millions of years. In 1927, a major wildfire burned thousands of hectares of surrounding forest, altering vegetation structure. Before that, logging activities were intense from the late 19th century, with workers transporting timber across rugged terrain. The combination of exploitation and disaster caused significant landscape transformation. In the following decades, the hydroelectric system expanded, turning the lake into part of a regional energy network. Pipelines and canals stretching dozens of kilometers were built to regulate water flow. These changes affected both terrain and natural ecosystems. The lake surface spreads between mountain slopes, where light reflects across the water at changing angles. Old tree trunks burned or cut still remain as historical traces. Beneath the calm surface, sediment layers continue accumulating over decades. Yosemite Valley lies at an elevation of about 4,003 feet in the Sierra Nevada in the state of California, renowned for its jagged cliffs and massive granite outcrops. The area was historically inhabited by the Ahwahnechee people, leaving behind fire pits and settlement sites. Ancient volcanic and glacial activity formed narrow canyons, natural ponds, and distinctive waterfalls. The valley preserves important archaeological and geological value. Hiking trails through the valley allow studies of endemic plants and local wildlife. Some steep cliffs and dense forest areas provide shelter for rare birds and animals. Biodiversity is monitored by ecologists. Rock formations and crevices are used to study erosion and geologic history. Natural events continuously shape the valley. Floods from snowmelt or heavy rain create new channels, ponds, and exposed rocks. Movement of rocks and sediments alters habitats and terrain. Certain slopes become unstable during rainy or stormy seasons. Yosemite Valley serves as a cultural and scientific hub. Visitors explore museums, learn about Ahwahnechee history, and participate in guided nature tours. Unique waterfalls, canyons, and vegetation offer physical challenges for hikers and climbers. Educational, historical, and ecological significance makes the valley both captivating and scientifically valuable. Dinky Creek is a small stream located in the state of California, flowing through granite formations formed over 100 million years ago. The terrain here was created from magma cooling deep underground, then eroded over millions of years to form a narrow stream channel. Many sections feature small waterfalls approximately 3 to 13 feet high. Logging activities at Dinky Creek expanded significantly in the early 20th century as timber companies moved into the area. Wood production once reached hundreds of thousands of cubic meters per year, supporting construction and industry. During 20th century wars, this resource continued to be heavily utilized. Natural hazards in this area occur cyclically but can cause severe damage. Wildfires can spread across tens of thousands of hectares, leaving burned forest stretches extending for miles. When snow melts rapidly, stream flow can increase 3 to 5 times, causing flash floods and eroding rocky banks. Some campsites have been completely washed away or destroyed in a short time. Dinky Creek reflects how humans adapt to mountainous environments. Trails, camps, and remnants of logging activity still exist throughout the area. Today, it has become a destination for trekking and outdoor recreation, with routes extending for several miles. The landscape continuously evolves over time, preserving traces of both nature and human activity. Mount Whitney, located in the Sierra Nevada Range, California, stands at 14,505 feet and is the highest peak in the contiguous United States. For a long time, this place has been considered sacred by the Mono and Paiute tribes closely tied to their spiritual life. The granite cliffs and glacial streams hold special meaning, serving as sites for many traditional rituals. The majestic nature here has always been respected and preserved by humans. A story passed down tells that in 1765, this area experienced a severe drought. Streams dried up and vegetation withered, making life extremely difficult. The people gathered at sacred sites to pray for rain, showing strong faith in nature. After that, a heavy rainfall arrived, helping the land gradually recover. The exploration of the area was also not easy, as in 1864, an expedition encountered a violent snowstorm. They were trapped for many days in the high mountains under harsh conditions and food shortages. Their efforts to survive in such circumstances showed strong human willpower. This event clearly reflected the harshness of nature in this region. Today, Mount Whitney has become a destination for climbing and exploration. However, stories of drought and snowstorms are still retold as remarkable memories. They contribute to highlighting the historical and natural value of this mountain. At the same time, they serve as a reminder of the balance between humans and nature. Vernal Fall is not only a waterfall in California, but also a place closely connected to people who love nature. At an elevation of about 7,546 feet, the waterfall flows over granite cliffs and sparse pine forests, creating a familiar echoing sound. The snowmelt water flows powerfully, but also becomes a source of inspiration for many visitors. For them, this place is not only for viewing, but also for feeling. Over thousands of years, sediment layers and rock crevices preserve traces of erosion, as if telling a long story of nature that people always listen to. Water levels change with the seasons, causing the landscape to constantly shift and forcing people to adapt when approaching. Slippery stone paths are both a challenge and a memorable experience. This creates a connection between people and the terrain here. Light reflecting on the water foam and rock surfaces makes the scenery vivid, making anyone want to stop and observe. However, changes in slope and sediment also remind people of nature's power. When snow melts, rising water can cause erosion and landslides. Therefore, every step at Vernal Fall requires respect and caution. Not only a tourist destination, Vernal Fall is also a place where people learn to understand and immerse themselves in nature. Climbers, photographers, and researchers all find their own value here. The stone steps around the waterfall become places to challenge oneself and observe the world. The connection between people and the landscape has created a lasting attraction. Lake Tahoe, Nevada State Park, is located at an elevation of approximately 6,224 feet and is an important natural resource for human life in the Sierra Nevada region. The clear lake not only creates scenery, but also provides water for daily use and tourism. Activities such as swimming, boating, and recreation take place regularly around the lake. This space contributes to improving quality of life and community health. The ecosystem here provides many practical values for society. Fish, birds, and animals form biological resources for research and education. Pine forests and the lakeside environment help regulate climate and protect soil. Biodiversity contributes to maintaining natural balance and supporting human life. The lake's terrain, with rocky beaches, small bays, and sandy shores, creates conditions for many outdoor activities. Lakeside areas are used for tourism, research, and nature observation. Water flow and terrain also support groundwater systems for surrounding areas. These factors increase the practical value of the region. This space also carries long-term cultural and social significance. Remains of the Washoe people reflect the relationship between humans and nature. Visitors and researchers come here to learn and experience. Lake Tahoe Nevada State Park therefore becomes a place connecting life, culture, and the environment. Kirkwood Mountain Resort is located on a mountain plateau at an elevation of about 7,874 feet in the state of California, where terrain is shaped by granite and ancient sediment layers. The area is surrounded by natural slopes with significant elevation differences, enabling long ski runs. Activities at Kirkwood Mountain Resort developed based on steep mountain terrain. The ski system expanded over time, connecting areas of different elevations. Support structures, such as lifts and stations, were built on uneven ground. These interventions altered part of the surface structure. Natural factors in this area can directly affect operations. Heavy snow accumulation can create pressure on slopes, leading to avalanches and surface shifts. Seasonal terrain changes create unstable zones. Some areas must be restricted when risks appear. Kirkwood Mountain Resort serves as a link between humans and the mountain environment. Tourism and sports activities generate revenue and maintain movement. Resource use requires control of environmental impact. The space reflects balance between use and adaptation. Yosemite National Park stretches across the Sierra Nevada range in California, featuring granite cliffs, wide valleys, and a large waterfall system. This area continues to play an important role in natural and indigenous cultural values. Elements such as sequoia forests, rivers, and mountainous terrain create a diverse ecosystem. Activities such as nature exploration and research continue to take place regularly. One event in the past was recorded in 1851, when a Western expedition entered the area. During their movement, they encountered flooding caused by rapid ice melt, which disrupted their journey. Some camps were affected, forcing them to change their plans. This event showed that the environment here is always subject to strong fluctuations. At present, wildfires have become one of the biggest challenges for the area. Prolonged dry and hot conditions increase the risk of fires, directly affecting forests and wildlife. Many areas must be strictly controlled to limit damage. Ecosystem recovery after fires also requires a long time. In addition, large numbers of visitors put pressure on the natural landscape. Soil erosion, pollution, and changes in wildlife habitats are becoming more evident. Climate change continues to affect water sources and ecosystems. These factors make conservation efforts more complex. Monarch Lake, located to the east of the Sierra Nevada, California, is one of the oldest lakes in the United States, covering an area of about 168 square kilometers, 65 square miles. This lake was formed over 760,000 years ago and has a salinity 3 times higher than seawater. Monarch Lake is known for its peculiar limestone columns called tufa, which form when the salty water interacts with the minerals in the environment, creating a unique ecosystem. The history of the area is tied to the Kutsadika people, a Shoshone tribe, who lived here for thousands of years. They relied on the resources from the lake for survival. However, in the 19th century, when Europeans began to migrate to the area, Monarch Lake witnessed major changes in both politics and society. The local economy was affected by the expansion of transportation routes and the development of mining. The area did not experience large-scale wars, but it still faced conflicts over land and resources. Diseases brought by the Europeans devastated the indigenous community. The changes in lifestyle and the decrease in population led to many challenges for the native tribes. Monarch Lake has become a popular destination for nature enthusiasts and ecological researchers. Conservation and restoration efforts have helped the lake recover and maintain its unique ecosystem. Visitors can not only admire the beauty of the tufa limestone columns, but also learn about the rich history of the area and the environmental issues being addressed. Mount Lassen is located in the northern Sierra Nevada range in California, rising about 10,456 feet and belonging to the Cascade volcanic system. The volcano formed around 27,000 years ago from layers of lava and ash accumulation. The area was historically inhabited by the Atsugewi and Yana peoples, who relied on hunting and gathering. Between 1914 and 1917, a series of eruptions made the region one of the few active volcanic areas in the United States. During the 19th century, the mountainous region lay near migration routes during westward expansion in the United States. Conflicts between U.S. forces and indigenous communities occurred between 1850 and 1870. After tensions decreased, settlers began logging and small-scale ranching along the slopes. In 1916, the region was protected and designated as a national park to limit resource extraction. In 1915, a major eruption sent ash more than 186 miles away and destroyed surrounding forests. During the 20th century, large wildfires burned thousands of acres of pine forest. Minor seismic activity continued to be recorded in nearby volcanic zones. These geological changes led to long-term monitoring by the United States Geological Survey. The volcanic region now includes dozens of miles of hiking and geological research trails. Visitor centers preserve records of eruptions and indigenous settlement history. Surrounding communities developed ecological tourism and scientific education. Seasonal visitor numbers increase significantly and support nearby towns. Kings Canyon National Park, located in the Sierra Nevada, California, USA, covers an area of 731 square miles with valleys up to 6,562 feet deep, steep granite cliffs, roaring river falls at 151 feet, and giant sequoia forests spread across approximately 35,000 acres. The area was once home to the Yokuts and Western Mono tribes who performed rain ceremonies and hunting rituals. The landscape changes with the seasons. Spring brings powerful waterfalls, autumn paints the forests red, and morning fog over granite peaks creates a mystical atmosphere. Cedar Grove, stretching about 10 miles, is notable for giant sequoias and expansive alpine meadows that support diverse wildlife. Kings Canyon provides habitat for over 200 bird species: black bears, mule deer, bighorn sheep, and many rare reptiles. Limestone caves and reflective lakes create dazzling scenery while offering a valuable environment for ecological study. Cultural and recreational activities thrive through climbing, hiking, camping, and wildlife observation. Annual events such as giant sequoia tours, wildflower festivals, and indigenous culture preservation programs attract visitors alongside scientific research on geology, vegetation, and biodiversity. Glen Alpine Springs is located near Fallen Leaf Lake in El Dorado County at an elevation of about 6,890 feet above sea level. The area features cold springs flowing through ancient granite bedrock. Water temperatures range from 39 to 46 degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year. Dense pine forests and glacial valleys create an enclosed mountain terrain. The streams form from snowmelt and groundwater flowing through granite fractures. Several small branches merge into streams extending a few miles. Some sections create waterfalls ranging from 16 to 49 feet high. Small glacial valleys form a cold mountain ecosystem. Multiple trails extend more than 7 miles through pine forests and streams. Remains of old wooden foundations appear scattered in the area. Exposed granite surfaces occur along steep slopes. Small streams continue shifting with seasonal snowmelt. Red Rock Canyon State Park is located in Kern County with an area of about 42.5 square miles. Notable for red rock layers formed from ancient river and lake sediments about 20 to 30 million years ago. The multicolored rock layers, including red, orange, and white, stack into steep cliffs rising about 130 to 394 feet. Wind erosion shapes the terrain into rock towers and narrow slots. These formations create a rare geological landscape in Southern California. During prehistoric times, the area served as a migration corridor for ancient animals, confirmed by fossils found in sedimentary layers. Archaeologists discovered bones of ancient mammals and fossilized plant remains. Some sites preserve traces of ancient campfires from indigenous communities. These discoveries help reconstruct the ancient environment once existing in the region. By the late 19th century, the region became a transport route between mining areas and new settlements. Wagon caravans crossed the rock valleys to reach scarce water sources. Temporary rest camps were built near shaded rock formations. Harsh conditions later caused these camps to be abandoned. Today, the park features trails extending more than 11 miles through multicolored cliffs. Researchers survey fossils and ancient sediment structures. Visitors explore rock climbing, photography, and geological observation. Nearby communities develop tourism and research services. Sierra Buttes rises to an elevation of about 8,530 feet in the Sierra Nevada range, distinguished by steep granite formations created over 100 million years ago. These sharp peaks are the result of tectonic uplift and erosion over millions of years, forming a layered and rugged terrain. Deep fractures and rough surfaces reflect geological pressure accumulated over long periods. In the mid-19th century, this area became part of the California Gold Rush, attracting thousands of people seeking precious metals. Many gold mines were developed within rock crevices and mountain slopes, with tunnels and trails carved into the terrain. By the end of the century, most mines were depleted, leaving scattered remnants across the rugged landscape. In 1949, a large wildfire spread across the area, burning thousands of hectares of surrounding forest. After this event, the forest ecosystem underwent a recovery process lasting decades, with new vegetation gradually replacing older structures. Rock slides and erosion continued to reshape the terrain over time. steep rock faces form distinct vertical cuts, where changing light highlights each geological layer. Remnants of tunnels and mining structures remain scattered, blending with recovering vegetation. The terrain reflects overlapping layers of natural processes and human activity across different periods. Bishop Creek originates from high glacial lakes above 8,858 feet, formed by glacial processes tens of thousands of years ago. The water cuts through ancient granite over 100 million years old, creating U-shaped valleys and steep cliffs. Eroded rock layers and long-standing pine forests clearly reflect geological changes across many eras. This area later developed major hydroelectric systems with multiple plants built in succession. The water diversion system, constructed in 1913, triggered severe tensions, followed by pipeline sabotage in the following years. These events highlight conflicts between development demands and resource control. Before that, Bishop Creek was home to indigenous communities for thousands of years, living in cycles tied to the stream. When gold mining and ranching expanded, the environment and social structure changed rapidly. Conflicts from 1860 to 1870 and resource depletion left lasting consequences. Along the flow, dams and canals divide the water into multiple branches. Trout are periodically released, moving through sections controlled by artificial systems. Between them remain stretches where water flows naturally as rock and water continue shaping each other. Convict Lake lies at an elevation of about 7,742 feet in the Sierra Nevada range, formed by glacial activity more than 100,000 years ago. The lake stretches about 1 mile in length, with clear water reflecting the steep, surrounding granite cliffs. The terrain shows clear traces of glacial carving and erosion over multiple geological cycles. The lake's name is tied to a violent event in 1871, when a group of escaped convicts confronted pursuing forces in this area. The clash resulted in multiple casualties, leaving a lasting historical mark on this remote region. This event contributed to shaping both the name and reputation of the lake. During the 20th century, the surrounding area experienced ongoing changes due to rockfalls and periodic minor landslides. Unstable rock layers from the cliffs continued to collapse, gradually altering the shoreline structure. These processes reflect the constant interaction between gravity and geological formation. The lake's surface rests between steep mountain slopes, where light creates shifting reflections across the water. Sediment layers accumulating at the bottom record environmental changes over centuries. The enclosing cliffs form a confined space where every detail is influenced by time and geological forces. Sugar Bowl Resort begins from a high mountain valley where granite layers fractured over millions of years of geological change. Slopes did not form evenly, but were cut by deep fissures and eroded surfaces left by ancient glaciers. On that terrain, sediment layers continued to wash away, exposing ancient rock structures over 100 million years old. In 1952, a large snowmass suddenly collapsed from the upper slope, rushing into infrastructure areas with strong force. The snow traveled a long distance, destroying multiple structures and disrupting operations. This event forced changes in how terrain risk was evaluated. Snow layers do not distribute evenly but accumulate thickly in depressions, while slopes continuously change shape. Infrastructure and ski routes cut across the terrain, creating interruptions. Between them remain sections where rock and snow continue to shift. Lava Beds National Monument formed from lava flows that erupted about 10,000 to 30,000 years ago, when magma spread across the surface and cooled into basalt rock. These flows created more than 700 lava caves, with lengths ranging from a few feet to several miles. The cracked and solidified surface forms a rugged geological structure, clearly reflecting past volcanic activity. Lava tubes extend beneath the ground, forming a complex network where interior spaces shift from narrow to unexpectedly wide. Cave ceilings formed from hardened lava, while molten flows beneath drained away, leaving hollow spaces. These structures continue to change slowly over time through interaction between rock and air. Tuolumne Meadows opens as a rare flat surface amid rugged granite terrain. Located at an elevation of about 8,596 feet and stretching over 3.73 miles. Rather than steep mountains or sharp cliffs, this place exists as the remnant of an ancient glacial sea that retreated more than 10,000 years ago. Fine sediment layers cover the hard rock beneath, creating a soft surface rarely found in high mountain environments. Before roads appeared, this area already served as a natural corridor for human movement across the mountain range. The earliest footsteps left no structures, but they left traces in the way streams were bent and the ground compacted along paths. By the 19th century, migrants and explorers transformed these trails into actual routes. Unlike places directly exploited, impacts here occurred more quietly through livestock grazing and water flow alteration. These seemingly small interventions shifted stream paths, causing deposition and erosion to occur differently from their original state. The landscape began to change in ways not easily noticeable in the short term. Slow-moving streams draw soft curves across the meadow's surface, continuously reshaping the layers of soil beneath. Light slides across large rock formations, creating a sharp contrast between the hard and soft elements of the terrain. There is no fixed point, only small changes accumulating over long periods. Lake Tahoe State Park, formed around a lake deeper than 1,640 feet, created by geological fault movements combined with glacial activity millions of years ago. The lake holds about 36 cubic miles of water, making it one of the largest and deepest in the region. Surrounding granite and sediment layers reflect a long geological transformation. In the late 19th century, the area was heavily exploited as forests were logged on a large scale for construction and mining. This activity significantly reduced forest cover and caused widespread soil erosion. These impacts left long-term traces on the natural ecosystem. Before exploitation, the area around the lake was inhabited by indigenous communities for thousands of years, with a lifestyle tied to water and surrounding resources. As economic activities expanded, land control became a source of tension. These changes disrupted traditional social structures. The lake's surface is not static, but influenced by wind and water movement, creating continuous currents below. Rocky shores and coastlines gradually change through erosion and sediment deposition. The interaction between water, rock, and terrain creates a constantly shifting space. Sierra Nevada Brewery was founded in 1980 as a small-scale craft brewing facility with an initial output of only about 100 barrels per month. Over time, production expanded to millions of barrels annually, becoming one of the largest craft breweries in the United States. Fermentation processes and ingredient handling are tightly controlled to maintain consistent quality. During its development, the facility faced several industrial fire-related incidents and production risks requiring upgrades to safety systems. Environmental regulations were also tightened to minimize the impact of large-scale production. These changes reflect the pressure between industrial expansion and risk control. Before becoming an industrial facility, the area had been agricultural land with farming activities lasting for decades. When the brewery was built, the landscape shifted from a natural setting to a production environment. This transformation affected ecosystems and local resource usage. The production system is organized into multiple separate zones, from raw material processing to final packaging. Operational lines run continuously, connected through a complex technical network. The coordination between technology and process creates an environment constantly moving with production flow. Forest of Nisene Marks State Park lies on the western slopes of the Sierra Nevada in California, covering more than 9,884 acres with ancient redwood forests. This area was once the homeland of the Ohlone people, before large-scale logging removed millions of cubic feet of timber. After the San Francisco earthquake, 1906, a magnitude 7.8 earthquake that destroyed much of the city and triggered massive fires, demand for timber surged dramatically. The forest became a key resource for rebuilding. Thousands of workers labored under hazardous conditions, with many accidents going unrecorded. The remaining traces reflect the economic pressures of that period. Wildfires burned large portions of vegetation, forcing ecosystems to regenerate over multiple cycles. Flash floods and landslides reshaped the terrain and erased old roots. Sediment layers and slopes still carry evidence of these transformations. The Ohlone people once tied their lives to the forest and natural cycles. Later, logging communities formed a distinct labor culture. Modern trails pass through both industrial remnants and regrown forest. The landscape reflects an overlap between human history and nature. China Peak is located in the Sierra Nevada range in California, rising about 8,793 feet above sea level. This area once served as a route for labor groups and Chinese immigrants, shaping the origin of its name. Old trails still remain, reflecting resource extraction and transport activities. During the California Gold Rush period, the area around China Peak was influenced by migration waves and labor conflicts. Thousands of Chinese immigrants participated in building infrastructure and extracting resources. They faced restrictive policies and social discrimination. Remains of labor camps are still scattered across the mountainous terrain. The steep landscape makes the area prone to landslides and flash floods, especially in narrow valleys. Multiple wildfires have burned hundreds of hectares of pine forest, altering vegetation cover. Soil erosion has exposed bedrock and deep fractures. Terrain transformation continues over long cycles. Existing trails follow routes once used for movement and extraction. Traces of labor activity remain embedded within the forest landscape. The scenery reflects a combination of natural terrain and human impact. Many areas still preserve their original geological features. Palisade Glacier lies between dark rock slopes at an elevation of about 12,139 feet in the state of California, appearing as an ice mass fragmented by deep crevices. Its surface splits into elongated bands following the terrain's slope. The ice layer once exceeded 197 feet in thickness, formed from compressed snow over long periods. Rock debris trapped within the ice leaves clearly visible streaks. The edge of Palisade Glacier breaks into smaller fragments mixed with loose rock. Depressions hold meltwater briefly before it seeps away or flows onward. Some thin ice layers allow light to pass through, revealing internal structure. The boundary between ice and rock continuously shifts. Change occurs through accumulated small movements. Crevices widen gradually, ice sections detach, and rocks slide down after repeated freeze-thaw cycles. The underlying base becomes increasingly unstable. These transformations continue over time. Meltwater from Palisade Glacier flows into downstream stream systems, affecting seasonal water supply. Ice loss alters flow patterns and related ecosystems. Ice layers preserve records of past environmental conditions. Observed changes reflect long-term natural processes. Rock Creek Lake is a lake located at an elevation of approximately 9,613 feet in the state of California, formed by glacial activity more than 15,000 years ago. Ancient ice masses eroded the valley and left behind a natural basin, holding water with an area of about 14.5 hectares. Human presence at Rock Creek Lake is associated with resource extraction routes expanding over time. Early trails were used to transport timber and minerals, later forming temporary camps along the lake. Extraction volumes once reached large scale. Natural changes in this area occur cyclically but can reach high intensity. When snow melts quickly, lake levels rise significantly, causing erosion and altering the shoreline. Wildfires can spread over large areas. Movement routes around the lake extend for miles, following the shoreline and exposed granite slopes. Some sections clearly show terrain changes across seasons as water levels fluctuate. Old foundations and eroded paths remain visible. Activities occur within a landscape shaped by both natural processes and human traces. Lake Alpine lies at an elevation of about 7,218 feet in the state of California, formed within a basin shaped by glacial activity. The water surface is surrounded by granite slopes and sparse forest, covering about 72 hectares. Sediment layers beneath the lake record material accumulation over thousands of years. Water from snowmelt and small streams maintains seasonal levels. There is no fixed shoreline, as water level changes expose or cover rocky edges. Some areas form fine mud from deposited material, while others reveal smooth rock due to erosion. The water surface clearly reflects surrounding terrain structure. Shallow and deep zones are unevenly distributed. Changes occur slowly but continuously. Water levels rise with snowmelt, then gradually decrease, altering shoreline shape. Material from upper slopes may move downward and settle at the bottom. Some areas become more turbid due to disturbed sediment. Water here influences surrounding flow systems across different periods. Local activities depend on stable water levels. Sediment layers preserve environmental information over time. The changing water space reflects interaction between terrain and human activity. Lake Mary is located in the Sierra Nevada range in California, at an elevation of about 8,858 feet above sea level. The lake was formed by ancient glacial processes, creating a wide basin surrounded by rocky shores and pine forests. It is one of the largest lakes in the Mammoth Lakes area, covering more than 60 hectares of surface water. The surrounding terrain consists of steep mountain slopes and narrow valleys. The area around Lake Mary was once inhabited by native communities before explorers and settlers arrived. During infrastructure development, the lake was used as an important water source for nearby settlements. Changes in land and resource rights led to disputes in the region. Remnants of old routes and structures are still present. Natural processes directly affect the structure of the lake and surrounding land. Floodwaters from mountain slopes carry sediment that alters the depth and shape of the lake bed. Landslides move debris into the water, impacting the ecosystem. Wildfires have reduced vegetation cover and increased erosion rates. These changes occur over long cycles. Boating and fishing activities take place across the lake's surface, utilizing deeper areas and rocky shores. Trails follow the natural terrain and connect observation points. Some locations allow direct access to the water through rocky edges and low banks. The lake environment reflects a combination of glacial terrain and human activity. Kirkwood is located on a mountain plateau at an elevation of about 7,874 feet in the state of California, where the terrain is shaped by granite and ancient sediment layers. Surrounding slopes create ski runs extending for miles and small mountain crevices intermixed with narrow valleys. The terrain forms narrow valleys and small basins, influencing movement and accessibility. Some smooth rock areas and deep slopes require careful navigation. Light reflecting on rock contrasts sharply with sparse forest. Changes in slope and rock material keep the surface constantly shifting. Natural factors strongly impact operations and local ecosystems. Heavy snow accumulation can create pressure on slopes, causing avalanches and erosion. Temperature changes and rock movement produce new cracks. Some slope areas become unstable seasonally. The area plays an important role in water supply and local tourism. Water from the mountains feeds downstream lakes and streams, supporting recreation and daily use. Climbing and skiing allow direct interaction with the natural terrain. The space balances experience, research, and landscape preservation. Yuba River flows through the Sierra Nevada in California, with a total length of approximately 60 miles before joining the Feather River. The river originates from mountain lakes and streams flowing through granite valleys and mature pine forests. The area was once inhabited by the Nisenan people who fished, gathered food, and practiced traditional ceremonies. The name Yuba reflects indigenous language and cultural heritage. During the Gold Rush era, Yuba River became an important transportation route and water source for mining camps. Thousands of miners traveled along the river to extract gold-bearing sand and other minerals. Disputes over water and resource rights were common. Remains of trails, machinery, and mining camps are still present along the riverbanks. Natural processes continuously reshape the river landscape. Floods and landslides form new sandbars and deep channels, affecting aquatic ecosystems. Wildfires along the river reduce vegetation cover and accelerate erosion. These effects occur over long cycles, maintaining a constantly changing environment. Yuba River holds profound cultural and spiritual value, symbolizing the connection between humans, nature, and indigenous history. It supports local economies through tourism, fishing, boating, and outdoor recreation. Ecological and sediment studies provide data important for global environmental science. The river combines heritage, spiritual significance, and sustainable economic potential. Tahoe Rim Trail extends around Lake Tahoe in the Sierra Nevada in California, passing through varied terrain from mature pine forests to exposed granite peaks. The constantly changing landscape creates diverse scenery, from steep slopes to narrow valleys and open highlands. The area was once inhabited by the Washoe people, who hunted, gathered food, and held seasonal ceremonies. The name reflects the arc surrounding the lake, linking valleys and mountain peaks. During early resource extraction, portions of the trail were used to transport timber and minerals. Settlers built rest stops and side trails connecting valleys and highlands, forming a primitive transportation network. Conflicts over land and water rights occurred, shaping local society. Remains of camps, trails, and infrastructure still exist along the route. Hikers and visitors use the trail to observe scenery and access streams and small lakes along the way. Some segments have viewpoints that provide wide perspectives of Lake Tahoe and surrounding forests. The natural vegetation remains diverse, from old-growth pines to plants growing in rock crevices. The trail illustrates the interaction between landscape, ecology, and historical human activity. Monarch Lake is located in the Sierra Nevada range in California, with an area of about 55 hectares and formed by ancient glaciers. The terrain around the lake is steep, with an average elevation of over 6,560 feet above sea level. Many cracks and long weathered granite rocks appear densely. In the past, the Washoe community living here had to adapt to prolonged harsh conditions. Winter temperatures could drop below 0 degrees Fahrenheit, making daily life and hunting difficult. The fragmented terrain made movement between areas time-consuming. Their lives were closely tied to the instability of nature. When resource exploitation expanded in the 19th century, the area faced greater pressure. Transport routes stretching dozens of miles were opened across rugged terrain. However, flash floods and landslides frequently damaged these paths. Workers had to operate under dangerous conditions with high risk. Today, natural factors continue to create significant obstacles. Each year, multiple wildfires can destroy dozens of hectares of vegetation. Floods and landslides keep damaging trails around the lake. Access to the area, therefore, remains difficult over time. Monarch Lake is not only scenic, but also a challenging environment shaped by natural and historical constraints. Mount Clark is part of the Sierra Nevada range in California, rising about 11,529 feet. The steep granite slopes, deep valleys, and numerous cracks make movement extremely difficult. Rapid weather changes and rugged terrain increase the risk of accidents. However, these characteristics provide favorable conditions for geological research and terrain surveys. This area is strongly influenced by elevation and mountain climate. Low temperatures and strong winds limit the growth of many plant species. The fragmented terrain makes access to water sources and natural resources difficult. This creates a harsh but highly distinctive environment. Survey and exploration activities here face many obstacles. The terrain is uneven, with steep and slippery sections that complicate movement. Research equipment must adapt to unstable conditions. Nevertheless, the area provides important data on rock structure and mountain formation processes. Trails and high points on the mountain allow observation of the surrounding area. Some locations are suitable for monitoring vegetation distribution and terrain structure. The ecosystem remains diverse and adapted to harsh conditions. Mount Clark clearly demonstrates its value in scientific research and the natural environment. South Lake Tahoe began forming during ancient glacial periods when massive ice sheets eroded the terrain and created a wide lake basin among the mountains. Over thousands of years, sediments gradually accumulated at the bottom, recording environmental changes. The interaction between water, rock, and climate formed a stable natural system. This serves as a foundation for long-term scientific and research value. Over time, natural factors continuously reshape the structure of the area. Seasonal snowmelt increases water levels, leading to erosion and material displacement. Cracks and terrain deformation appear under pressure from water and rock. These changes keep the environment in a dynamic state. Under current conditions, accessing the area remains difficult. Steep terrain, slippery rocks, and unstable shorelines create obstacles for movement. Some areas carry seasonal landslide risks. This requires people to adapt and apply caution when approaching. This lake provides many practical benefits for society. It supplies water, supports tourism, and offers natural recreational space. Outdoor activities help people better understand the environment. Its value lies in the integration of natural resources, science, and human life. Glen Aulin is a distinctive glacial valley in the Sierra Nevada range, differing from many other mountainous areas due to its elongated structure and interconnected stream system. Formed by ancient glacial processes, This area features a more open terrain rather than sharply divided ridges. Unlike more enclosed mountain regions, this valley allows water to spread and form temporary lakes. However, this feature also creates challenges for movement due to constantly changing terrain. Slippery rock surfaces and deep gaps appear throughout the area. This requires careful navigation and experience. Natural processes here are more visible compared to many other locations. The combination of snowmelt, water flow, and sediment reshapes the valley each season. These changes create a dynamic and unpredictable environment. At the same time, they provide valuable scientific data. This valley stands out for its ability to connect natural water systems with lower regions. The stream not only supports ecosystems, but also enables research and exploration activities. The open and continuous landscape allows direct observation of natural processes. This is a key difference compared to other mountain areas. Mammoth Mountain is located at an elevation of about 11,053 feet in California, serving as a center for winter tourism activities in the region. Each year, when snow covers the slopes, the area attracts a large number of visitors for skiing and recreation. This creates many jobs, such as lift operation, guiding, and hospitality services. However, the icy environment and steep terrain make daily work risky. The system of ski runs and trails is built along the natural terrain, but maintaining them is not simple. Staff must regularly check snow stability and slope conditions. Areas at risk of avalanches or collapse must be handled promptly. This work requires coordination and practical experience. Water from snowmelt plays an important role in the surrounding area. It is directed to supply residential areas and tourism services below. However, rapid temperature changes can cause sudden fluctuations in water levels. This creates challenges in water management and usage. This area brings clear economic benefits to the local community. Tourism and winter sports promote the development of various service sectors. At the same time, it requires investment in safety and environmental protection. Mammoth Mountain becomes an example of balancing resource use and management. Mount Shasta, at about 14,180 feet in California, stands out with rugged terrain and harsh natural conditions. Layers of basalt and volcanic ash reveal strong geological history while providing important scientific research value. Melting snow creates water sources for surrounding areas, supporting human life and ecosystems. These factors bring benefits while also posing conservation challenges. The terrain with granite outcrops and steep slopes is both a challenge and an opportunity for climbing and tourism. The Bowles Fire in 2014 destroyed more than 150 homes and forced many people to evacuate. The fire spread rapidly due to strong winds and dry conditions, causing major property damage. This event clearly shows the danger of nature in the region. The harsh ecosystem forces plants and animals to adapt to low temperatures and strong winds. Pine forests and vegetation help regulate climate and protect soil from erosion. Species here provide valuable data for biological and environmental research. These values indirectly support human life. Mount Shasta is both an attractive tourist destination and an important scientific research site. Exploration activities help people better understand nature and raise environmental awareness. Lessons from natural disasters improve management and risk prevention. The combination of natural value and experience creates long-term significance. Half Dome appears as a massive rock formation that makes people stop at first sight. At an elevation of about 8,839 feet, the steep granite face creates a feeling of awe and attraction. From this point, the view opens across the entire Yosemite Valley and distant mountain ranges. People are not just looking, but directly facing the grandeur. As movement begins along the rocky slopes, each step becomes more cautious. Cracks and erosion marks appear clearly on the surface, suggesting thousands of years of geological time. Small streams from snowmelt flow through the rock and bring life to the area. The journey becomes both climbing and observing nature. Changing light conditions shift the granite colors from bright to dark throughout the day. However, slippery surfaces and steep cliffs set clear limits for access. Strong winds or snowmelt can significantly alter the terrain. This creates both attraction and risk. After leaving Half Dome, what remains is a sense of respect for nature. The stone steps and steep slopes challenge both physical strength and concentration. Many people return not only to conquer, but to understand the place more deeply. Direct experience forms a strong connection. Bridal Veil Fall appears like a thin yet vibrant ribbon of water in the mountains of California. From an elevation of about 6,201 feet, the water falls over granite cliffs, spreading into a fine mist that touches the skin. The sound of the water echoes throughout the valley, enough to fill the space. At that moment, people are no longer just observers, but become part of the landscape. Moving closer, each step on damp rocks forces people to pay attention and adjust their pace. Rock crevices and erosion traces become clear, like pages of nature's record. Water levels change with the seasons, making each visit different. This makes the experience always feel new. Light passing through the falling water creates soft bands of color, making the scene shift with each angle. However, steep and slippery slopes always carry risks. Strong water flow during snowmelt can reshape the terrain. This both attracts people and requires caution. Leaving the waterfall, what remains is the feeling of truly touching nature. The stone steps, water, and sound stay in memory. For many, this is not just a destination, but a memorable experience. That direct contact creates a lasting connection. Nevada Fall is located at an elevation of about 7,595 feet in California standing out with a powerful waterfall plunging between steep granite cliffs. Water from melting snow creates strong pressure, forming fast and uncontrollable currents. Rapid weather changes make the area dangerous. These factors create a high-risk environment. The slippery rock faces and steep slopes make movement difficult. In 2011, 3 visitors were swept away here after slipping on wet rocks. This event shows the dangerous power of the waterfall and the serious consequences of carelessness. Many unstable areas increase the risk of accidents. Nevada Fall is a place that tests human limits against harsh nature. Activities like climbing and exploration require high skill and experience. The existing risks make the area one that demands respect and caution. Its value lies not only in beauty, but also in safety lessons. Tuolumne River winds through deep canyons with sheer cliffs forming a majestic landscape unlike anywhere else. The water rushes over small waterfalls carrying pebbles and golden sand, creating its own rhythm, seemingly composed by nature long ago. The sound of water striking rocks resonates steadily, blending with the wind and leaves like a lively symphony only nature can evoke. Along the riverbanks, diverse vegetation appears in patches among rocks and gravel, providing habitat for numerous birds and small animals. Some rocky ledges rise high in the stream, where the rushing water splashes white foam, emphasizing the river's strength while retaining its softness. Tuolumne River invites close observation of every detail: ripples, rock shapes, and the sound of water, offering a deeply harmonious experience with nature. The Tuolumne River is also marked by small lakes tucked between bends, where water settles calmly, reflecting cliffs and trees. These tranquil moments emphasize the sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce rhythm of nature, showing the steadfast vitality and adaptability of land and water over millions of years. The harmony between water, rock, and pine forests highlights the lively yet balanced character of Tuolumne River. The river is not merely flowing water, but a testament to enduring life, harmony, and the latent power of Sierra Nevada's nature, providing an experience both contemplative and emotionally rich. Merced River winds through the Sierra Nevada, splitting the cliffs into gentle bends. The water flows murmuring, reflecting light with sparkling glints, creating a feeling both lively and serene. The sound of water striking rocks, combined with the wind blowing through the foliage, seems to tell the geological story of millions of years, emphasizing nature's own rhythm. On both sides of the river are tall pine forests and green meadows, where birds and small mammals live freely. Large rocks rise in the channel, where rushing water strikes them, producing a lively yet peaceful resonance. Each bend of the river invites close observation. Each ripple and movement of leaves and water harmonizes together. Merced River demonstrates its vitality through bends and pebbles, a landscape both majestic and delicate. The river constantly changes, creating its own rhythm that highlights the adaptability of land and water, reminding of nature's perseverance. From a high rock, observing the water flowing through mountains and forests, one perceives the complete harmony between land and water. Merced River is not just a flowing watercourse, but a testament to the rhythm of life, the adaptation and patience of majestic nature, offering a profound and evocative experience. The Ruby Mountains appear as a rugged range rising from the eastern flank of the Sierra Nevada, where the terrain is no longer soft but becomes sharp and somewhat harsh. The space here does not stretch evenly, but is cut by deep ravines and steep rock formations, creating a sense that the landscape is always in motion. This mountain range extends nearly 80.8 miles, with many peaks exceeding 9,843 feet. Its structure consists mainly of metamorphic and ancient sedimentary rocks, uplifted and eroded over millions of years. U-shaped valleys, traces of glaciation, remain clearly visible, revealing a complex geological past that has shaped the entire region. The name ruby comes from the red garnets found within the rocks, evoking the image of gemstones, even though they are not true rubies. In the 19th century, the area attracted small expeditions and limited mining activity, leaving scattered traces, but not enough to significantly alter the overall landscape. The Ruby Mountains do not feel easily accessible. Steep, fragmented terrain with little flat ground makes every movement more pronounced. Yet this very quality preserves a state close to its original form, where each layer of rock and every fracture tells a part of natural history. Cedar Grove lies deep within the Sierra Nevada like a hollow of time, where rocky mountains close in and light filters through only in thin layers. The space here does not open up immediately, but gradually reveals itself with each step, creating the feeling of entering a place that has been kept hidden for a very long time. The valley was formed by ancient glacial processes, leaving behind towering granite cliffs hundreds of yards high and a ground surface smoothed over thousands of years. A river flows through the area for dozens of miles, carrying cold water from melting snow and keeping the air consistently cool and clear. The elevation of around 4,921 feet makes the temperature here noticeably cooler than in lower regions. Cedar Grove does not impress with its vastness, but with its depth. The sound of water striking rocks, wind passing through the forest, and the long pauses between movements make everything seem slower. In summer, light falls into the valley in distinct bands of color. When autumn arrives, the landscape shifts into deeper, more subdued tones. This place was once a living space for humans from very early times, but those traces have now nearly dissolved into the landscape. Cedar Grove preserves a rare sense of untouched nature, where everything exists without the need to display itself, and that is what makes it different. Big Bear Lake lies among the mountain ranges of the Sierra Nevada like a pause preserved between elevation and ancient forest. When early morning mist gently covers the water's surface, the scene becomes hazy, as if this place does not fully belong to the present. There is something in that stillness that makes every movement seem to slow down. Big Bear Lake sits at an elevation of about 6,759 feet, stretches nearly 6.8 miles, and was formed by a dam built in the late 19th century. The name Big Bear comes from a time when this area was home to many grizzly bears. Despite its artificial origin, the lake gradually blends into the natural landscape, to the point where the boundary between humans and nature nearly disappears. Around the lake, pine forests extend and create an enclosed space where wind slipping through the leaves produces very subtle sounds. In winter, snow blankets the entire area, turning it into a world of near absolute stillness. Summer, in contrast, brings warm light that highlights the deep blue tones of the lake's surface. Big Bear Lake is not just a body of water, but a trace of time, preserved in the form of nature. Between the calm surface and the surrounding mountains and forests, what remains is not history or scenery, but the feeling of standing before a space deep enough for every thought to gradually settle. Lake Tahoe Beaches lies nestled within the Sierra Nevada range, where the deep blue water reflects the sky like a giant mirror. Have you ever stood before a lake where the boundary between sky and earth seems to disappear? The space here unfolds slowly, as if nature is retelling a very old story through light and wind. Along the shoreline, light-colored sandy beaches stretch out, interspersed with granite rocks and tall pine forests. Lake Tahoe covers about 191.5 square miles, sits at an elevation of over 6,224 feet, and reaches a maximum depth of nearly 1,644 feet. This depth is what allows the water to maintain remarkable clarity, making it possible to see objects at depths of over 65 to 98 feet on clear days. The atmosphere here is not noisy, but preserves very subtle movements. The sound of waves gently touching the shore, the breeze passing through the pine forest, or footsteps pressing into the fine sand, all become part of the experience. When sunlight spreads across the water, each ripple reflects light, like shards of broken glass, creating a beauty that is both soft and sharp. Lake Tahoe beaches does not only impress with its appearance, but also evokes a rare sense of balance between humans and nature. Between the still lake surface and the distant fading mountains, what remains is not a clear explanation, but the feeling of touching something very real yet hard to hold. Devil's Postpile National Monument lies on the western side of the Sierra Nevada range in California, covering about 1.25 square miles at an average elevation of nearly 7,546 feet. The area is known for hexagonal basalt columns standing about 33 to 59 feet tall, formed from cooling lava around 100,000 years ago. Before becoming protected land, the site was inhabited by the Mono people. In the late 19th century, the area was near gold mining and logging routes during westward expansion in the United States. Logging companies constructed transport routes around the San Joaquin River Valley. Conservation groups later urged the government to protect the area from basalt extraction. The creation of the monument ended industrial exploitation in the region. The monument now includes trail networks extending more than 8.1 miles, leading to Rainbow Falls and basalt formations. Visitor centers preserve geological records and monocultural history. Hiking and geological study attract hundreds of thousands of visitors annually. Nearby towns developed tourism services to support seasonal visitor growth. Heavenly Ski Resort is located at an elevation of about 8,448 feet in California, formed by ancient glacial processes and long-term geological changes. Granite terrain, valleys, and mountain gaps are the result of erosion over thousands of years. During its development, the natural terrain became both an advantage and a challenge. Steep slopes and slippery surfaces make construction and movement difficult. The risk of avalanches and landslides is always present in winter. Changes in snow, water, and sediment make the environment constantly unstable. Rapid snowmelt can cause erosion and destabilize the surface. Cracks and rock movement create many hidden dangers. Nevertheless, these factors help maintain ecosystems and provide important scientific data. This high-altitude mountain resort plays an important role in society and human life. It generates revenue from tourism, sports, and related services. At the same time, it supports environmental research and education. Its value lies in balancing development, conservation, and adaptation to harsh conditions. Conway Summit is located at an elevation of about 8,566 feet in the Sierra Nevada range, formed through long-term tectonic and glacial processes. Granite terrain, combined with alpine meadows and pine forests, reflects a clear geological history. The area once served as an important route for the Washoe people, and later for migrant groups. These traces show the historical role of the pass in human expansion. The terrain here creates many challenges for movement and daily activities. Steep slopes, slippery rocks, and deep gaps require skill and careful preparation. Rapid weather changes increase the level of risk. These factors make the area a challenging environment for humans. Natural processes continue to strongly affect the structure of the area. Snowmelt, heavy rain, and wildfires reshape the surface and vegetation. Weathering creates distinctive geological forms and diverse habitats. However, these changes also create difficulties for conservation and use. Conway Summit provides significant value for research, education, and tourism. High points allow wide observation and support scientific studies. Activities such as hiking and exploration help people directly engage with nature. The area reflects a combination of historical, natural, and social values. Ebbetts Pass is located at an elevation of about 9,003 feet in the Sierra Nevada range, formed through long-term geological and glacial processes. In the 19th century, it was part of the California Trail, but steep terrain made travel difficult. During 2018 to 2021, major wildfires burned tens of thousands of hectares of forest in the surrounding area. These factors show that the region is closely tied to both history and natural risks. Granite cliffs and slippery, steep slopes create real dangers. The road through the pass is very narrow, with many sections lacking guardrails and prone to accidents. In winter, from November to May, heavy snow forces the road to close completely. This disrupts transportation and limits access to the area. Natural phenomena continue to make the environment unpredictable. Rapid snowmelt in late spring causes flash floods and strong erosion. Rockfalls and landslides often occur after heavy rain, altering the terrain. These changes keep the area unstable. Despite this, the area still attracts visitors and researchers. Activities such as climbing, surveying, and observing nature take place regularly. However, all activities require careful planning for weather and safety. Ebbetts Pass, therefore, offers both research value and real-world challenges. Castle Dome rises as a massive rock formation on the eastern flank of the Sierra Nevada, standing out with its vertical, angular shape like a natural fortress. The surrounding space does not spread out evenly, but is cut by mountain crevices and small valleys, giving the terrain a sense of tension and energy. The peak reaches over 8,858 feet, with layers of granite and ancient metamorphic rock stacked over millions of years. Erosion and uplift have created steep cliffs and deep ravines, making Castle Dome a distinctive and unmistakable form. Surrounding sediment layers highlight the rock's color variations from dark gray to reddish-brown, evoking the image of an ancient fortress arranged by the hand of nature. Castle Dome was once a focus of study and exploration for 19th-century geologists seeking mineral deposits. Small remnants, such as test mines or temporary retaining walls, reflect efforts to navigate the harsh terrain, but did not alter the mountain's natural structure. The space around Castle Dome has its own rhythm. where each step vividly conveys the slope, rock texture, and depth of ravines. The mountain captivates not only through its shape, but also by how it preserves both natural and human traces evenly, making it a living testament to the grandeur of the Sierra Nevada. Groveland Yosemite Gateway Museum preserves the history of Groveland, California from the mid-19th century gold rush. The museum was established to conserve artifacts, documents, and stories of the first gold miners, while also showcasing local lifestyles, occupations, and customs across different periods. Inside the museum, over 500 artifacts are displayed, including gold mining tools, machinery weighing over 220 pounds, household items, and archival photographs. Old maps illustrate the development of the town of Groveland, helping visitors visualize the community's scale and the challenges its residents faced. Beyond artifact displays, the museum organizes traveling exhibitions and educational programs, reenacting significant events in the history of the Sierra Nevada region. Stories of miners, families, and traditional festivals are recorded in detail, giving visitors a deeper understanding of the local community's cultural identity. The Groveland Yosemite Gateway Museum is not just a tourist destination, but also a center of living history education, where every artifact tells the story of time. Visitors leave the museum feeling connected to the past and appreciative of the efforts and creativity of those who built Groveland over 150 years ago. Mono Basin's scenic area stretches out like a vast basin at the eastern edge of the Sierra Nevada, where the terrain drops abruptly and opens into a space with almost no clear boundaries. The first impression is not height, but width, a kind of extended emptiness that makes everything within view seem smaller. This area was formed by geological activity over hundreds of thousands of years, with a closed structure that has no outlet for water. As a result, minerals continuously accumulate, creating water with unusually high alkalinity and salinity. The total area spans hundreds of square miles, with terrain ranging from water surfaces to dry sediment flats. One of the most distinctive features of Mono Basin is its tufa towers, mineral structures formed by the reaction between calcium-rich water and carbonates. They rise in irregular shapes, some resembling towers, others like remnants of eroded formations. There is no clear pattern, and it is precisely this randomness that creates a unique impression. In the 20th century, water extraction significantly lowered the water level, exposing additional layers of sediment and rock formations. These changes forced humans to reconsider their approach. Mono Basin is therefore not only a remarkable landscape, but also a marker of the limits of human intervention in nature. Devil's Backbone is a narrow and sharp mountain ridge within the Sierra Nevada range in California, with an average elevation of about 7,874 feet. The ridge-like terrain, with steep slopes and exposed rock, makes movement dangerous. This area was once used by exploration groups and miners as a natural route. The name Devil's Backbone reflects the hazardous nature of the terrain. During the westward expansion, this area witnessed many surveying and resource extraction activities. Labor groups worked under harsh conditions, with many accidents occurring on the narrow mountain slopes. Labor conflicts and competition for resources affected the local social structure. Remnants of trails and mining sites still exist. The steep terrain combined with loose rock structure causes frequent landslides. Wildfires have burned large areas, exposing rock layers and altering vegetation. Water flows strongly through mountain crevices, forming deep erosion channels. These changes occur continuously, reshaping the mountain slopes. Current hiking routes follow the narrow ridge, where the distance between two slopes can be only a few meters. Travelers must face strong winds and unstable terrain. High points provide wide views of the surrounding valleys. This space clearly shows the interaction between harsh terrain and human activity. Mount Ritter rises to an elevation of about 13,149 feet in the state of California, with hard granite structures and steep rock faces. Slopes extend east-west, interspersed with ice crevices and small valleys. Sediment layers and rock debris record millions of years of erosion and uplift. Meltwater and small mountain streams create seasonal flow. Surrounding terrain forms narrow valleys and deep basins affecting movement and accessibility. Some smooth rock areas and deep crevices require skill to traverse. Light, reflecting on rock, creates strong contrast with sparse pine forest on slopes. Slope changes and loose rock keep terrain surfaces constantly shifting. Natural factors strongly impact ecosystems and safety in the area. Rapid ice melt increases stream flow, causing erosion and slope instability. Temperature shifts and rock pressure create new cracks and debris movement. Some slope areas become unstable seasonally. The mountain plays a crucial role in regional water supply, feeding streams and lakes downstream. Research, climbing, and observation allow people to understand geological and climatic changes. Its rugged terrain challenges human capability while preserving scenic value. The area reflects a balance between nature, research, and experience. Big Pine Lakes is located on the eastern slope of the Sierra Nevada in California, consisting of 7 glacial lakes at elevations from about 9,514 to over 11,155 feet. The lakes formed near the end of the last ice age about 12,000 to 15,000 years ago, when large glaciers retreated and left stepped terrain. Granite cliffs, rising hundreds of feet, surround the lakes and create distinctive alpine scenery. The water appears deep blue due to suspended glacial sediments. Before European arrival, the area served as seasonal hunting grounds for Eastern California indigenous communities. They moved through mountain passes to gather alpine plants and hunt wildlife. Some early routes were used to transport natural materials across high terrain. These paths later became the foundation for modern trekking trails. The terrain around the lakes is affected by rockfalls and avalanches along steep granite slopes. Some large avalanches altered routes between the higher lakes. Melting remnant ice also changes lake levels during different periods. These geological factors continue to reshape the landscape over time. Today, the area features a round-trip trail extending about 14.9 miles through the entire lake chain. Climbers and geological researchers often survey ancient glacial terrain. Visitors explore the area for trekking, camping, and alpine lake observation. Nearby mountain communities developed services supporting tourism and research. Northstar California Resort lies at an elevation of about 6,234 feet, developed on mountainous terrain formed by ancient tectonic and glacial activity. Slopes covered with long-standing granite and sediment accumulated over millions of years create a diverse land structure. Geological layering reflects a prolonged process of transformation across time. A major wildfire occurred in 2021 when flames spread across nearby areas, directly threatening infrastructure and operations. The fire burned tens of thousands of hectares of forest, disrupting transportation and forcing temporary closures. This event highlighted the vulnerability of the area to natural disasters. Before being developed into a resort, the area was inhabited and used seasonally by indigenous communities for thousands of years. As development and construction expanded, the natural landscape gradually changed. These impacts directly affected ecosystems and reduced the original environment. Ski trails extend along mountain slopes, cutting through forest and rocky terrain to form a complex movement network. Infrastructure such as lifts and facilities are distributed according to the terrain, altering natural surface flows. The combination of artificial elements and steep terrain creates a space in constant change.